chairs, we can get more from down the back. We have fold-out chairs. Or there's a couple of chairs behind the table. Kev is taking a live video to go on to Facebook, so if anyone doesn't want themselves seen, just...
I'll pan past you.
Yeah, just say no or something as he's going past and he'll go faster.
Put my finger.
Any sort of social media presence that we can have for Sarah's book is going to help her, so we can do as much as we can. Kev, can you find David a chair?
Oh, it's okay. Well,
You right?
I'm fine. No, I'm fine.
Yeah. All right. So welcome everybody. I think everyone's here. My name is Blaise Van Heck. I'm co-owner of Busy Bird Publishing with Kev, who's my husband and partner in crime. We've been in this building almost 9 years. We've been publishing for about 12. And we are a hybrid publisher. We do some traditional publishing and we help people to self-publish. We believe that a lot of books, because they don't have huge commercial value, aren't going to get a traditional publishing situation. And I really feel that there are stories that are important to be told, like this one that we're going to talk to about tonight. So I'd like to welcome you to the launch of the book, Incarceration, which we have here. If you haven't bought one yet, you can purchase one after the talks. And I'm sure that Sarah would love to sign it for you. I've only known Sarah maybe 2 months, if that, so this has been a very quick process. You're going to learn a little bit more about it from Sarah and from David. But before I begin, I want to just acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land that we are meeting on today, which is the Wurundjeri Willam clan, and I pay respects to elders past, present and emerging. Here at Busy Bird, we are all about sharing stories, and I don't know if anyone knows about PEN International, but I feel like PEN International is quite relevant to this book, and we actually have someone from PEN International here tonight called Christine. So Christine, I was wondering if you could come and tell us a little bit about PEN. Poor Christine has had no warning about this, but I just thought it would be good to tell people about PEN because it's a really great organisation.
Well, thanks, Blaise, for the opportunity. PEN International is an international organisation. We've got about 150 centres worldwide, so lots and lots of people are members of PEN. We're really about, the heart of the project is to defend and advocate for persecuted writers. So at any time around the world, there are at least a minimum of 1,000 writers who are imprisoned or being harassed or persecuted simply for truth-telling. These are people who are peacefully going about their work as writers, and for that, regimes who do not want the truth to be told murder them, lock them up, and in other ways persecute them. So PEN is really about advocating for those people. Advocating for writers who have taken the risk to expose sometimes unpalatable truths to various regimes, and we all work towards that. So we've got a lovely membership. We write letters. Most of our job is about writing letters, making phone calls, and supporting writers in any way we can. So Farzaneh's book is just so much representative in a way, I think, of the work that PEN really believes in and supports. It's a story of her incarceration. I've only just picked it up, so I haven't read it. I can't really speak about it. But from my quick glance at it, I can see that this is another really important story that's needed to be told. And I really hope it gets a very big coverage. because storytelling is really the greatest way to share these truths, especially the story of someone who's lived through these really terrible times. And Iran, unfortunately, is a country where the spotlight is often on in terms of the regime there, which is very brutal and very unkind and does really persecute writers in a way that's totally unjustifiable according to the way that we believe and live our lives. So I'd really like to congratulate you on this, Farzaneh. I'm sure it will be fantastic. I can't wait to go. I'm going to hop into bed and I'll probably finish it tonight. And I'll get in touch with you. So I hope everyone buys a copy. And if you're interested in the work of Penn, you can find us on the internet if you'd like to know more about Penn. So thank you very much.
Thank you. So as I said, Penn is actually celebrating 100 years this year. So thank you. So I'm not going to say too much about the book because I think that is up to the author to share that with us. But first I would like to tell you that you can see a camera here at the side, and that's Iran International TV. So I don't know if you want to say anything about what you're doing. No, that's okay. There has been a bit of help in the development of this book, and I'd like to invite Dr. David Murphy up to have a little word with us. So David is a retired professor from Monash University, and he has helped Sarah Farzaneh with the writing of this book. So please come up.
In collaborative writing with dozens of people over many decades, I've written, rewritten, and edited thousands of documents, millions of words. But I've never been involved in anything as compelling, raw, revealing, and awe-inspiring as Sarah's book, Incarceration. It all started quietly enough. A friend asked if I'd be willing to help someone write a memoir. I'm retired, enjoy writing, so happily accepted, not really knowing what lay ahead and what a journey it has been over a period of years. Sarah and I have met and talked at length, and in that time I've learned far more from her than she has learned from me. We've had countless chats on the phone, emails aplenty, much messaging, and, most productive of all, coffee mornings. These were especially important for discussions about structure and detail. For example, at first the book was going to be purely chronological, starting with Sarah's early life and background on Iran. But we realised that we needed more impact at the beginning. Thus it was that we made the first chapter focus on the 30th of Khordad, 1360, the Persian date for the 20th of June, 1981, the fateful day she was arrested. It went through many drafts, as each time Sarah would write something, there'd be so many questions that I, as a reader, wanted to know. For example, how did you feel when you woke up that morning? What did you eat? Did your family know what you were going to do? What were you wearing? How did you meet with the others? And so on. For all of this, though, I must emphasise that this is wholly Sarah's book, not mine, and I believe that her voice comes through clearly and emphatically, especially her views on life and love. Incarceration follows a mostly chronological path, including details of Sarah's happy early family life as she grew up in Iran. This leads to the growth of her political activity at university and association with Mojahedin, up to the fateful day that forever changed her life, the beginning of more than 5 years of captivity in Iran's infamous prison system. Her release was not the end of her struggle, mostly due to the ongoing close scrutiny she was under from authorities. This, and the looming obligation for her younger brother to join the army, led to their escape from the country, by no means an easy task. It was a secretive journey, aided by kindly Kurdish people smugglers that led Sarah to Turkey and eventual freedom. Yes, I use the word kindly very deliberately, partly because here in Australia we're conditioned to think of people smugglers as evil criminals, having no regard for people's lives. Not true, especially in the case of the Kurds. Misunderstanding may also apply to my previous mention of the Mojahedin. Not every Middle Eastern political group is a terrorist organisation, and this is true of the Mojahedin. This brief summation, of course, does no justice to the severe hardship, deprivation, and yes, torture that Sarah suffered. The horrors inflicted on Sarah and her fellow prisoners are outlined in Incarceration, some of it making difficult reading. It is a tribute to Sarah's strength and the bonds that were formed among the sufferers that she has survived and has been able at last to document her story. And what comes through is not a cry for vengeance and retribution, but a seeking of understanding and a passing on of knowledge, and above all, an affirmation of Sarah's belief in and love of goodness and kindness, her love of humankind. Thank you.
There's a couple of things that I'm really impressed with this book. This is a book written in somebody's second language, so well done on that. And another thing that I think is really important with a book, with this kind of story, is that we have people living in our community that we don't know very well. People who have known Sarah over the 30 odd years that she's 35 years or so that you've been in Australia, you know, they might have worked with you and they may have known a little bit of your history, but they don't know exactly what you've been through. And that's why I think these stories are really important, because we can't call ourselves a multicultural community if we don't actually understand each other's stories. And that's why I feel like books are really powerful. And so I really want to congratulate you on tackling this task because I'm a writer and I struggle to write in English, which is my first language. So well done. And I hope that it encourages other people to tell their story as well. So I want to invite Sarah up here to tell us a little bit about writing the book and maybe doing a little reading.
Thank you everyone for coming, and thank you for all the support you've given me last few months. And a special thank you to my late father, my beautiful mom, and my siblings, and all my family members and relatives, and also Busy Bird, David, and friends. You might be interested to know a little bit about me, and I prepared a piece. I wrote a little piece. I want to share it with you here. Who am I? I'm only a human with many mistakes, many heartbreaks, many anguishes, pain, and sorrow. This is life. Life taught me to transform myself to who I am now. I challenge myself in many aspects in life, from those horrifying 5 years of my imprisonment in Iran's jail, escaping to Australia, learning a second language, adjusting with new culture, pursuing my tertiary studies, starting a business from scratch, and being stubborn to make it successful, to writing my book and sharing it here with you. Where am I from? I'm from this earth. It doesn't have a name. It doesn't have a location nor a geographical address. In my world, people are all beautiful. They are all kind. There is no jealousy, no envy, no injustice. In my world, we all hold hands, making a safe shelter to helping the weaker, the needier. We spread love, kindness, fairness, and justice. This is what I believe and try to pursue it in my life. I believe in world unity. I hope one day our earth becomes the most beautiful place in this galaxy. Why did I write this book? I wanted to give awareness to the world about things happening to people in Iran, to tell the readers that Iranians are not terrorists. Contrary, they have been terrorized, deprived, and excluded from human rights. Now I would like to read a paragraph from my book here. I saw prisoners in groups of 8 or more, all with blindfolds and handcuffs, being taken for execution. They were in a line with each prisoner holding the clothes of the prison in front. A prison guard led the execution line holding the end of a stick, with the first prisoner holding the other end. Their feet were wrapped in white gauze, and they could hardly walk. They were pulling their legs because of the pain, as their torture had included slashes to their feet. After they disappeared from our sight, about 10 to 15 minutes later, we would hear the gunshots. Thank you, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this adventure. I don't know, enjoy or... I hope nobody experienced this sort of thing.
Thank you, Sarah. Well, that's all of the official stuff. If you haven't purchased the book yet, I will be up at the table, and I think Sarah could go up to the table and sign books if you would like her to sign. We also have some supper up the back, and there are some drinks. Maybe someone who's good at opening the champagne could open the bottle of champagne. And there is tea and coffee if you prefer tea and coffee. The cups are in the drawer if you can't find them. So thank you all so much for coming. We really appreciate the fact that you've made the trek here. I know some of you have come from a distance, especially at this time of year, because Christmas is a week away-ish, and it is always a bit of a tricky time of year. But we just wanted to round off the year and make sure we got a launch in of some capacity, so it's been fantastic. Thank you all. And thank you, Sarah.
Yep.